Okay, today we're here up at the school and we're meeting Mr. McFarling and his wonderful dog, therapy dog, Gill.
Hi, I'm Dan McFarling. I'm going to try to wear my mask most of the time because it's a time when we need to be wearing our masks. So it might be a little harder to hear me, but I'm going to put my mask on. This is Gill. Gill is a 4-year-old golden retriever. He really likes treats. Gill, table, could you get up? Table, good boy. Sit. Can you wave to the kids? He's going to wave to the kids. He says, hi. Hi. Good boy. Hey. Yeah, Gill is 4 years old, and Gill is a therapy dog. What is a therapy dog? A therapy dog is a dog that goes to hospitals and schools and libraries and lots of different places to try to make people feel better. Gill goes to schools to help interact with the kids, and he goes to the library to help kids learn to read, and he'll sit with kids when they're reading a book so that they can enjoy reading to a dog instead of to a person. And sometimes that's more comfortable to read to a dog than a person. Gill goes to hospitals when there are adults or children who aren't feeling very good, and he tries to help them to feel better. Gill even goes to the jail for people that are in jail and to try to help them feel better. And with Washington County Youth Services, sometimes when children are having some trouble that they need to deal with, Gill will go to Washington County Youth Services where we work with children who aren't feeling very well. Gill, you want to get down? Okay, Gill, hold. I'm going to have Gill do one of his favorite tricks. We'll see if it'll be one of his favorite tricks. Gill, rewind. Gill, come here. Gill, rewind. Go. Rewind. Good boy. Okay, Gill, sit. Gill loves to do tricks. See, right now he's waving to me because he thinks that will, maybe he'll earn a treat by waving. Can you wave again? Good boy. Gill doesn't do this very well, but can you pose? Good pose. Good boy. Gill, sit. Sit. Gill is 4 years old, and when Gill was really small, I'm going to put him up here so it'll be easier to see. Gill, table. One of the first things we want to do with a dog, to train him to be a therapy dog, is to handle them all over. Gill is used to having his ears touched, and his feet touched, and his tail touched. We touch all over him so that he gets used to being handled. And there are 2 reasons we do that. Number one, if he has to go to the doctor can look at the dog, and the dog won't get upset when somebody touches his ears or his nose or his feet. Sometimes dogs don't like to have their feet touched, but Gill is used to it. And he does that so he can behave when he goes to the doctor. He also does that so when he's a therapy dog, and he is a therapy dog now, he's used to kids and other people touching him and handling him. So he's very used to being handled. Some dogs don't like to be handled. And it's always important to not handle a dog if you don't know that dog, and to ask the owner what you can do with that dog. Sometimes it's not appropriate to handle a dog at all. But Gill's a therapy dog, and he's used to it.
So if our friends and our students see a dog that looks really friendly, they should ask you or the owner first?
Always ask first, yes.
Okay, that makes sense. And I see he has a special coat on, and
yes.
The coat says something on it on top.
Yeah, Gill has his therapy coat on. Not all dogs will have a therapy vest on, but Gill has a therapy vest on to show that he's a therapy dog. And I'm also wearing a badge that shows that this is a picture of Gill and this is a picture of me. And Gill is only really a therapy dog when I am working with him. So we have to be together for Gill to be a therapy dog. Did you want to get down? Hey, Gill, come here. Let's put you back on lead. Gill, sit. Good, sit. One of the things we always need to do with doggies is to make sure that they have water to drink. And I always carry water with me. So when Gill gets too thirsty, I could give the drink water. Because that's really important. It's important for you to have water too to stay hydrated. Especially during warm weather. But even during cold weather, it's important to drink water.
So is Gill just naturally knows how to do all those really fun tricks that you showed us?
Well, we try to. Dogs have to be taught to do tricks for the most part. And one of the most important things when you're teaching a dog to do tricks is to be very happy and be upbeat, to make the dog enjoy learning. That's very important. You never want to scold a dog or hit a dog. You want to make them very happy. And if you're happy when you're training them to do a trick, they'll want to learn to do that trick. Gill, can you spin? Can you twist? Gill, twist. Gill, twist. We haven't practiced. Gill, twist. No, that's a spin. Gill, twist. That's a good boy. Not enough practice for a while.
So do you train him every day?
We don't train him every day, but we try to train him at least a couple times a week.
And he remembers.
Say again?
And he remembers?
Oh yes, he's pretty good at remembering. He's better at remembering sometimes than I am.
Does he have to have a special kind of food?
Gill, we try to keep him on the same kind of food all the time. It's not a good idea to change a dog's food too much. I like to give him a little bit of variety, and so when I give him treats, a lot of times I'll give him different kinds of treats, but just for variety, because we like to have changes now and then. But generally speaking, we try to keep dogs on the same food all the time.
So we have Mr. Rosser here. He's one of our counselors, and he said he has a question for you and Gill.
I'm going to take off my face mask just for a minute so they can see my face. Hello students, I'm Mr. Rosser, one of your school counselors. I'm a counselor for some of you. I'm going to ask Dan a couple of questions about Dan because you've been so thorough about Gill, but I'm going to put my mask back on first. And my philosophy as a counselor is there's no such thing as a bad question. Remember that. So my question, Dan, is how do you get to be a dog trainer? How did you get to do this job?
Well, when I was a kid, I had dogs. I've always had dogs during my life, and I've always enjoyed working with dogs. And when I was an adult, I worked in the healthcare field. I worked with hospitals and nursing homes and places like that. And so I knew the people that in healthcare, people in hospitals, needed that they would be helped by having dogs visit them. And so after I retired, I decided that was one of the ways I would stay in touch with the work area that I worked in before. And so that's one of the reasons I go to hospitals and nursing homes today, is to stay in touch.
So why do you think Gill going to a hospital makes the hospital patients feel better? What happened?
Well, there are a lot of different things, ways that dogs can make people feel better. Number one, sometimes when people are getting very old and they're starting to not remember things very well and they're not able to communicate, when they see a dog, it takes them back to their childhood and it helps them bring them back into reality. And we've had patients who have a disease called Alzheimer's, who when they see Gill, they just lighten up and brighten up and they want to pet the dog. And there are a lot of different ways dogs can help people. One is through the touch. Just by touching the soft hair of a dog can make people feel better. And when a dog shows affection towards them, it helps them to feel loved and cared for. Sometimes people just don't get very many visitors. And when a dog comes to a nursing home, they like to have the dogs because it's one more visitor to help brighten their day and get rid of the monotony of the day.
So do you have any advice for people who want to work with animals? What kind of skills should they have? Do you want to work with animals or just take care of them?
One of the most important things is always be positive with a dog. Always try to be happy and upbeat. A lot of times people, when they scold their dog, they'll see a dog, say, make a mess in the house. And then they'll go up to the dog and they'll scold it. It's okay to scold a dog if you catch the dog making a mess. But once the dog is done, he's forgotten what he's done. And so you always want to be really positive with a dog.
And gentle. I think being
And gentle,
with
yes,
the dog is
yes.
important.
Yes.
Gill is very clean looking. Does that take a lot of, does he have to be cleaned pretty constantly?
Therapy dogs have to be groomed before they go on any therapy visit. So basically, Gill gets groomed once a week. Sometimes more often than not, but always at least once a week. And that helps keep him clean. One of the things about Gill, stand, can you stand? You'll notice that Gill has long hair, and he's been in the brush, so he's already picked up a lot of stuff from the sidewalk and from the yard here. But Gill has to get brushed a lot because he has the long hair. With a shorter dog, you don't need to brush him quite so much. But Gill gets bathed every week, and he gets brushed almost every day.
Wonderful. Well, he sure is gorgeous, and you two make such a great team.
I
Any
have
other
one more
questions?
question. I just want to say thank you, Dan, for coming
Thank you.
and sharing your beautiful dog and all the skills that you have. And it just seems like with dogs like Gill in our community, it's going to make a lot of people a lot happier. So
We
thank
try
you for
to
your
make
work.
people happy, and you know, when I make other people happy, it makes me happy too. It makes me feel good.
Thank you for bringing us so much happiness today,
Thank
Mr.
you.
McFarling. And thank you, Gill.